Check, check. Great, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. As the sanctuary slowly gets quieter and quieter and quieter. No, they can hear you singing that, so you shouldn't do that. I'm not going to call you up. Yeah, why don't you grab a seat? Maybe they'll follow you. Hey, there's a bunch of chairs up here for people who are on the vestry, and that's the point, so you can be embarrassed. All y'all who are sitting like way in the back, I'm gonna get louder and louder and louder unless you move up into the front. Jen, you don't have to because you're working. Come on, Colby. Bob and Sue, you're not going to be able to see the slides. I mean, they're awesome. Seriously. You're going to miss out big time. Judy Howard, I love your hat. You can sit down now. Thank you. Hey, Jenna. You want to sit in the front? I ask that you keep your remarks to under 30 minutes. You don't have to say anything. If they want to. Yeah, hey, Ken, come on up. I want you right there. Is that okay? As soon as Peter Tarleton is seated, we'll start. Boom.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here, for braving or chancing the snowstorm, I guess. Before we begin, I just want to acknowledge that the weight of the world feels pretty heavy right now. The weight of our country feels pretty heavy right now. And so I just want to open by just having a moment of silence for us to collect ourselves, to enter fully into this space that we know to be safe, that however you are showing up, you are welcome here. And to invite God into this space as we gather to meet and share the joys and challenges of St. John's in the past year. Almighty and ever-living God, source of all wisdom and understanding, be present with those who take counsel at St. John's for the renewal and mission of your church. Teach us in all things to seek first your honor and glory. Guide us to perceive what is right and grant us both the courage to pursue it and the grace to accomplish it. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And with that, I hand it over to our senior warden to open the meeting.
How is everybody? Bertha, how are you? You look well. Is everyone ready for the snow? This storm has a name. Do you know what it is? Fern. Like never since the beginning since people learned how to speak, has anyone ever said, oh my gosh, here comes Fern. It's just, It's such an we should never have started naming storms because then they would run out of appropriate names. And so now it's like Fern. Anyway, glad you're all here. We're going to get you out of here in time to deal with Fern. I'm Chuck. I'm just going to run quickly through the agenda. These are the senior warden's remarks. They'll be over very soon. I'm going to ask my friend Tom Gruen, who's the secretary, although he has a different title because we have strange titles, to come up and handle item 3. We're going to be taking care of some business there, asking you to approve certain things, the minutes from last year and the nominations and elections of certain people to certain things. Then we have a little something different this year. We got a staff presentation, which is going to be phenomenal, and followed by this slideshow, which you really are going to want to move up to see it. It's some of Olin's finest work to date. Then which is, it's a high bar, and yet he continues to surpass it. And then he's bugging out because I'm talking way too close to the microphone. He hates when I do that. And then we have the traditional vestry presentations. Jerry, his swan song, his ultimate, his final building and grounds report. As Rob would say, it's going to be a banger. And then Kelly will run through the Treasury report. Great year last year. Yet again, pat ourselves on the back, and balanced budget again for next year. And then at the end, we'll talk about some changes. We will have an opportunity for you to ask questions, and we may answer some of them. We'll try our best. And with that, Tom, you want to come up and handle item 3?
Okay, our first order of business is to receive and approve the minutes from the annual meeting of 2025. These were distributed through email to you, and these are also included on page 5 in the report if you have a hard copy of the report. So could I have a motion to approve the minutes? Okay, Brad Lown, motion, yes. Second? Okay, second somewhere, okay. What's that? Yep. Any discussion, any questions, any corrections? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to take a vote that we accept those. Everybody in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? You may abstain if you want. Okay, then these are accepted. Thank you very much for that. Now we're going to move on to our election. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to start by. You good? Okay. Oh, good. I'm going to start by introducing our slate of vestry nominations for the class of 2026. These are also in the annual report on pages 30 and 31. Our first nominee is Ken Hale, nominated for member at large. Our second is Brenna Jansen. And our third is Kathy Robbins. These are all members that are sitting to my immediate left. And so I would like to receive a motion to accept our new slate of vestry nominations for the class of 2026. Can I have a motion for that? Brad Lown, thank you. Thanks, Brad. Can I have a second for that? Okay. Do you have any discussion, questions? Okay. All right. Yes, Christine.
Oh,
okay.
Good catch, thank you.
Okay. I stand corrected. This, Brad, are we okay to amend the motion?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good. We're going to amend the motion to the class of 2029, and we shall, okay, any other points of discussion? Okay, thank you, Christine. Okay, hearing none, please vote. If you approve these, please say aye.
Aye.
If you oppose, please say no. And if you want to abstain, you have that option as well. Okay, it seems that the ayes have it, so thank you for our class of 2029. Okay. The other continuing vestry members are listed on the bottom of page 31. Our next is that I would like to receive our slate of nominations for convention delegates. And these are listed on pages 32 and 33 in the annual report. Our first nominee is Gary Fink. There is a misspelling there. It's F-I-N-C-K-E. Our second is Brenna Jansen, gets to do double duty. Third, Chris Seavey. And fourth, Anna K. Vorstag. And as an alternate, Jane Begala. So could I receive a motion to accept this panel of nominations for our convention delegates?
Thanks,
Okay,
Brad.
thanks, Brad. Okay, second. Thank you. Any discussion, questions or discussion items? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and ask for a vote. If you would accept these, would you please say aye? Aye. Any opposed? Anyone like to abstain? Okay, well, now hearing no opposition, we will accept these nominations for our convention delegates, and I'm going to turn this back over to our moderator for our staff presentation. Thank you all.
Thanks, Tom. And thanks, all of you who agreed to serve in whatever capacities, those capacities to which you have each just been elected. You know, if there's anyone out there or listening who is interested in being a member of the vestry or convocation at some point in the future, feel free to reach out to one of us, raise your hand. The vestry meetings or a hoot. No, they're really good. And we usually have snacks, and it's a lot of fun. And so anyway, search your soul and see if that's something that you might be interested in at some point in your future. So now we're up to item staff presentation.
It's a little misleading because it's not a staff presentation as much as a presentation of staff. Because here at St. John's, we have an amazing staff, like truly amazing. And I want to acknowledge first that our rector, Rob Stevens, is not here with us because he is on sabbatical. Rob, if you're watching, you are in big trouble. But part of Rob being on sabbatical is that all of us are stepping into new roles, we're all supporting each other, and we're supporting you in new ways. But this work has started a long time ago. This past January, we, as you all know, had significant transitions on staff, some planned, some unplanned, and it gave us an opportunity to be able to say, going into the future, what kind of staff team does St. John's need to be able to sustain the ministries that we're doing, to expand and to support not just St. John's, but the broader community? And so we were able to think about that, pray on that. It took us a long time to figure out what format we wanted. And so the existing staff that we have now all have clear job descriptions, all have clear roles on our staff, and we are all working in the same direction to be able to support all of you and the broader community. And so it's really exciting to be able to say that. I want to invite all of them up, though, because they can speak for themselves, to share with you. You will know them all, but you may not know what it is that they do here at St. John's. And so they are going to share with you a little bit about what they do here at St. John's, and then also we are not all full-time, and so I think it's really important that you know who is full-time and who is part-time, because sometimes people are harder to get a hold of, and it's because they work another job or because they are retired in another setting. There's lots of reasons, and so if I can just ask you to share whether you're full-time, part-time, your job description, and then also the best way to get in touch with you if somebody needs to get in touch with you. I am going to start by reading our rector's job description. The rector provides spiritual, pastoral, and administrative leadership to ensure the overall direction of the church aligns with its mission. As the head of staff, the rector oversees worship, pastoral care, stewardship, and vestry leadership. Responsibilities include financial oversight, supervision of administrative functions, and strategic planning for the parish's long-term health. The rector also ensures proper stewardship of major assets, including buildings and grounds, working with committees and staff to maintain and enhance church facilities. In the absence of the associate rector, the rector assumes the duties of the associate rector. As associate rector, I ensure that the direction and programs of the parish align with its mission. This role provides leadership in worship and pastoral care alongside the rector, while serving as the primary leader for formation and all outreach programs. Responsibilities include overseeing Christian education, community engagement efforts, and parish communications to ensure consistency, clarity, and meaningful connection within the congregation and beyond. And in the absence of the rector, the associate rector assumes the duties of the rector. I am full-time. And the best way to get in touch with me is email or phone. And I also, a shout out to the website, because all of our information is available on the website at any time.
I'm Ann Williamson, Associate for Pastoral Care. Working closely with the rector, the associate helps ensure the pastoral needs of the congregation are met with compassion and care. The associate oversees the lay Eucharistic visitors program by recruiting, training, and supporting volunteers. The associate also leads worship and presides at funerals and other sacramental services as needed. In the absence of the rector and associate rector, the associate assumes the duties of the rector, and I am 10 hours a week.
If you believe that. 10 hours is what we pay her for. It's way more than that.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Mulhern. I'm the Director of Music and Liturgy. The Director of Music and Liturgy oversees the parish's music and worship life, directing choirs, supervising music staff, and coordinating liturgical planning with the clergy. This role recruits and manages musicians for choirs and special services, oversees the music budget, and ensures the maintenance of church instruments. The Director of Music also serves as the staff liaison to the Young Organist Collaborative. Side note about that, that is an organization that was started 25 years ago here at St. John's. And has grown to reach all the way to Massachusetts, teaching young people how to play the organ. And our organ turns 25 this year, so just a lot of fun things. Additional responsibilities include bulletin design, liturgical coordination, and providing pastoral care to choir members and music volunteers. I am full-time.
Hello, Olin Johannesson, Director of Digital Media and Special Events and Associate for Music. I am full-time. The Director of Digital Media, Special Events, and I'll start with that part, ensures high-quality digital and in-person worship by overseeing live streaming, sound, lighting, and digital content management, including YouTube and all other online platforms as well, website, social media. As Director of Special Events, I curate and manage, along with support from Jennifer, our Concerts on the Hill and St. John's Selects and other cultural offerings, while expanding community engagement through music and the arts and other. We had our first wellness event last fall, which was kind of a step outside of music and the arts, but well attended. Responsibilities include fundraising, event planning, artist coordination, overseeing facility rentals to grow parish space usage. Now on to the Associate Music Director. This position collaborates with the Director of Music to enhance congregational singing and choral leadership. Again, I am Olin Johannesson, and I am full-time.
I had to use this one because the writing was too small on this, and I'm in denial that I can't see it. My name is Brooke Bassett, and I am the Director of Formation. This is a full-time position. Also, it's under the umbrella of a new position that has been brought forth this year. The Director of Faith Formation leads and supports faith formation for children and youth, from toddlers through high school, while fostering faith at home initiatives, family engagement, and intergenerational connections. This role equips and supports volunteers, develops creative and meaningful formation opportunities, and collaborates with clergy, staff, and parishioners to intergenerate children and youth into the life of the church. Additionally, the Director of Formation assists with community outreach and adult formation as needed, ensuring a holistic approach to lifelong faith development.
I'm Christine Hudson. I work 30 hours a week as the parish administrator. I attempt to manage daily operations, oversee parish data systems, maintain membership and stewardship records, and coordinate other office functions. I provide administrative support to the clergy, the staff, ministry leaders, and assist with planning and logistics for some key parish events. My responsibilities include preparing the communications, scheduling, and attempting to ensure the smooth functioning of the parish office.
Thank you. Finally, last but not least, is our financial administrator. Elizabeth is not here with us today, but if you have not met her yet, please do stop by the office or give her a call to meet her. She is 3/4 time, or 30 hours a week, and works hybrid, so she works from home as well as in the office. The finance administrator at St. John's Episcopal Church is responsible for maintaining accurate financial records, managing accounts payable and receivable, and assisting with financial reporting. This position works closely with the rector to ensure compliance with financial regulations and supports the church's mission through effective financial management. Additionally, the finance administrator will oversee parish HR administration, ensuring compliance with tax and state employment laws and diocesan policies. That is our amazing staff. Are there any questions about, like, if I have this, who do I go to, or about the staff structure, anything that you think that we can help answer today?
There we go. Go, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. So
Thanks
for
for that
those of you
comment.
online who couldn't hear the comment, she was just commenting on the amount of work and effort that went into being able to do that body of work. I think it's really important to acknowledge that, like, we've always known our jobs, right? But that St. John's is growing in every way possible. We're growing. And so as we move into that, there's going to be new things that we need to do. And so that shifting of how we hold the jobs that we've always had, but also grow into what needs to happen. As the world changes around us, as our congregation changes, it's really important. So thank you, Chris. I think
Before
Chuck.
change it over to the next item, you know, we raise a lot of money each year. You're pledging the money you put in the plate, all that annoying parking revenue. This is what that pays for. We have the best staff, bar none, of any parish in the entire world. That's what everyone says. They say they're the best. No, they really are. I mean, come on, the music program. Have you been to other churches? Yeah, shut up. It's amazing. And if you go online and try to find another parish anywhere that has the quality of product that comes out of that booth. You're not going to find it. It's spectacular. It really is world class. And yeah, everyone here, yeah, I think they're all pretty great. So let's clap for them again, shall we?
So one of the things that we wanted to do was to show the ways that this staff, but also this community, supports and loves each other. We could spend all day talking about this, but instead we asked all of the ministries here at St. John's to submit a year in review of photos. And so what you have here is all of the work that staff has supported, that volunteers have carried and led and pushed through, that they've asked for, and all of you have participated in. So please move forward as much as you can so you can see the slideshow and know that this is the amazing work that happened here at St. John's in 2025.
The Word becomes flesh. The Word becomes flesh.
and I wrote this because I feel like everyone should be allowed to be themselves without being judged. And I wrote this because I feel like everyone should be allowed to be themselves without being judged.
My name is Joe Porter, and I wrote Nobody Hides Who They Are or Who They Love because I believe that inclusivity means honesty. So my name is Joe Porter, and I wrote Nobody Hides Who They Are or Who They Love because I believe that inclusivity means honesty.
There she goes.
Here I go again on my own.
There she Don't let the door hit you.
Here I go.
Pilgrim journey. I want Jesus. I want Jesus to walk with me. In my trial. Oh, in my Lord, trial. Walk with me. Lord, walk with me. In my trial. In my trials, Lord, walk with me. When the shades of life are falling, I want Jesus. I want Jesus to walk with me. I will want Jesus to walk with me, to walk with me.
Thanks, Olin. All right, we're way up to item 6. Who's first? Jerry, I think it's you. What? Let's give it up for Jerry Simpkins, people.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being a junior warden for this church and for this community. It's been ups and downs along the way, but the results have been satisfying, and I'm glad that I got a chance to do it. This year, or this last year, we had some ups and downs. Fortunately, most of our ups, and we had a few downs. We had some leaks in the building we were trying to track down. We finally figured out where they were coming from. So we had probably 6 or 7 projects just to fix leaks. So what happens when you have an old building. But I think we've managed to take care of them all. Now the ups we've had this year, we finally got rid of our old garage that was falling in the back of Tebet's. That was a project and a half trying to get the city to approve it, considering they considered it was 140 years old. And I don't think that was the case. In fact, I talked to parishioners that have been here, and it was a secondhand project that was done in the late 40s. And that was information I got from Larry Kent, who's been a long parishioner here. We also got our automatic door closures and openers for all of our doors so that people have accessibility to all of our spaces. You know, we tell everybody that we welcome all, and I think we're getting really close to being being there. We've done a lot to bring the buildings up to code so that we can invite anybody into our buildings. The other big thing we did is we finally finished our third phase of the fire suppression system, or the fire alarm system, so that we are now safe. We have these fancy little things above the balcony here. In case you want to know how they work, there's a laser that goes across to these mirrors here. When the smoke or whatever blocks that laser for any period of time, the fire alarm will go off, which we had that, I think happened Christmas last year, trying to put up the garland. So, but we made the building safe. We've added more exit signs so that people know. I've gone around and made sure that all of our fire extinguishers are properly labeled so that we know where the fire extinguishers are. And we're in the progress of getting together with a group to do a safety program so that we can make sure that everybody is safe when they're in these buildings. And the final thing that I did this year, or we did this year, that I was very, very proud of was the completion of our solar panels. I started that project back in 2014, trying to get enough information on what we needed to do. Reggie and I went to a formation for one of the congregations up north that had put in solar panels, and we went through the long process of trying to get the HDC to approve what we wanted to do. They gave us approval for the first side. We weren't happy with that. We went back and got the second side approved. So we now have a functioning solar panel system. We are producing electricity more than what we are using at this time, and we have already sold several units of electricity back, and we have an account set up, so we have money in that account already coming back from electricity that is being sold. So it's working, and I'm happy that we've got it done. Now, I am stepping down as junior warden, but I'm not going anywhere. Ken Slover, who is going to be taking over my position, he will still have the support of myself, Reggie, and Randy, this community, and this staff. So it's not going to be too hard. Some people say, well, he's got big shoes to fill. I only have a 7.5, so I doubt it. But I'm happy that I get a chance to still do what I want to do here. I love this community, and I'm glad that I get a chance to do what I do. So I'm not going anywhere. Thank you. God bless. I love you all.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, for those of you who live in Portsmouth, getting those solar panels approved was a big deal. That was an uphill climb. So thanks, Reg. You obviously had a big role in that. A bunch of other people as well. Spectacular. Kelly. Kelly's going to tell us what happened and what's going to happen financially.
Thanks, Chuck. All right, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay? All right, perfect. I hope you had a chance to look through the treasurer's section of the annual report. I am grateful for the opportunity to spend a few minutes this morning with you, sharing where we are financially as a church, reflecting on 2025, and looking ahead to 2026 budget. I am pleased to announce that 2025 was another financially strong year for our church. We are currently projecting a year-end surplus of $169,000. Our operating revenue was $1.13 million, which was supported by a 4.5% endowment draw of $85,000. We also benefited from use of a prior year surplus that I reported on last year, and we received $99,000 this year from the Employee Retention Credit, which was a COVID relief program. Together, these sources brought total revenue to $1.47. Total expenses for the year was $1.27 million, reflecting favorable personnel costs due to the staff timing and mix, as well as the deferral of some building and grounds expenses. In addition, we incurred about $27,000 in special initiatives and about $8,000 in minor capital improvements, bringing total expenses to $1.3 million. Those special initiatives are fully offset with about $27,000 in both income and expenses, and they include projects such as the irrigation system, the Zoom TV for the Philbrook Room, and also designated collections like the Polar Packs. Our 2025 surplus was driven primarily by one-time sources, including the ERC funds. We had some grants, we had some very generous gifts, as well as favorable personnel and building and grounds expense that I just spoke about. While we're grateful for these results, it's important to note that some of these revenue sources are not ongoing. So overall, our financial position reflects faithful stewardship and generosity, and it allows us to continue supporting the church's mission responsibility. Thank you for your continued trust and support. Now, having reviewed the 2025, let's look ahead to see where we're planning for 2026. So the vestry this past Tuesday approved a balanced budget of nearly $1.4 million, carefully aligned with our mission and our current financial realities. A total operating revenue is budgeted at $1.1 million, supported by a 4.5% endowment draw, which is about $99,000 for 2026, and it remains within our long-standing investment policy. Pledge income is budgeted at $630,000, which is slightly below our stretch goal of $650,000 and our 300 pledges. In addition, we continue to see strong and reliable parking revenue, especially with our new parking partner, which remains an important part of our overall funding. We also begin 2026 in a position of strength because we're carrying that estimated 2025 surplus of $169,000, which contributes to our budgeted revenue of nearly $1.4 million. On the expense side, our operating expenses are budgeted at $1.4, resulting in a balanced budget. This budget allows us to maintain a full team to support and lead our mission and initiatives while also being disciplined in our spending. There is no capital improvements planned for 2026. We're going to reflecting our focus on stability and operational priorities in the coming year. So this overall budget reflects careful stewardship, realistic assumptions, and a continued commitment to our mission. And on behalf of the vestry, thank you for your generosity, trust, and ongoing support. So as I close, I want to emphasize that our financial health is truly a shared effort. It happens because so many people faithfully give their time, their talent, and their resources. I'd like to thank Elizabeth for joining the team this year as our new financial administrator and stepping into her role so seamlessly, our staff for their thoughtful stewardship of their budgets, our vestry for the consistent financial oversight, many of our volunteers who make ministry happen, and to each of you, our parishioners, whose generosity throughout Pledge and Plate sustains our church week after week. We're grateful. Thank you very much.
Hey, Aaron, do you mind if while that information is hot, we encourage people to ask questions about this part of the presentation that you've just seen?
I don't mind, but I was going to ask where the handheld is so that we can, there you go. Anne is going to be our handheld mic. Please, I know that we don't all love speaking in the mic.
Judy, do you need a microphone? Because I don't think so. No, that's true.
So we do actually need the microphone because the people online can't hear
Judy,
us. So
you
let's
need a
make sure that they
microphone.
can all hear also.
Hi,
Please
everybody.
identify yourself
Hello.
and state the name for the record.
Judy
Could you spell
Howard.
it, please? Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to know about the new parking partnership, please.
Right, so Unified or Universal, UPP was like the only game in town if you were like a church or some other property that had a parking lot that you weren't using all the time and you wanted to monetize that in a certain way. That whole business has attracted more people now. So There are people that got in touch with us that offered us a more favorable deal, and we went back and forth between the two of them, and I think got more favorable terms. We're getting a bigger cut of the parking pie, and I forget that translates into an increase in parking revenue for 26 for, yeah, but do you remember what the dollars were?
I don't remember, it's like 15% or so.
15%. Yeah, it's probably more than that because, but anyway, it's more. It's actually substantially more than we were getting. And because it's a more competitive environment, we have the right to terminate any parking services provider anytime we want and move on to someone else. I do think at some point, and hopefully they're not listening, because of the advances in technology, this is something that we're ultimately going to be able to take on completely in-house, so that all the parking revenue would be ours. We would just have to pay the people that provide, the software. But that's down the road. You're welcome. Question over on the left. Talk quietly amongst yourselves because Anne doesn't want to trip. Has the snow started yet? Okay, good.
Hi, I'm Jane Bagala.
Hey, Jane.
Hi. You want me to spell my name? Just
No,
kidding. This is just a comment that I think that the report was so complete, it really blew me away. I'm so impressed by this annual report and also so impressed by the programs in this church. And I want to make sure that our staff compensation remains competitive. We want to keep all of these people and we want to keep these great programs. I get to walk through the lower parts of the church and see how robust our Sunday school is, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you so much, especially for the expenditures and the revenue snapshots, because I did simple calculation and realized I'm underpledged. So just wanted to tell you another check will be coming in from this parishioner, realizing how much it really, really costs for all of us to maintain sacred space. Thank you.
Jane, that's spectacular. Any other questions just like that one? Now's the time. Strike while the iron is hot. Yes, I increased my pledge as well, Jane. Thank you. I know many of you did. Hey, here comes the microphone.
Thank you. Susan Getman. Along the line of competitive salaries, question, how frequently do we do compensation surveys to see how we are lining up with other faith communities, Episcopal Church or not?
You want me to take the first whack and then you can fill in? The diocese publishes compensation guidelines. And we try to adhere to those. They're updated each year, and so each year that's information that we take into account when we review compensation.
So also a suggestion, unrelated. The parking lot that's facing the church, or the church faces, has a big sign that says this is a private parking lot, except for the 2 or 4 meters that are city meters that you get parking tickets for.
Correct.
And
because that's a street, yeah.
So
go ahead.
I think it would make sense to have some signage because I heard about it after I had a present left for me, which I appealed to the city, but I think that the signage could really help people understand that there's a different rule for those 4 spots.
Okay. Good. Yeah, we're going to repaint all the lines with the new provider, and yeah, we'll see if there's an opportunity to mark off those spaces. Under parking on the website, you can see a map that says, don't park here again. So I want you to go there right now. Everyone here, those, yeah, if it has a parking thing that you put money in or a credit card, that's not us. That's the city of Portsmouth. Hello.
I was just going to add on to the work we did.
Sorry, Wendy Blood. I just have sort of a funny comment to make about the parking meters.
Yeah.
If you're handicapped and you have a handicap sticker, if you put that on your visor, they can't charge you. So, for anybody who has a handicap sticker, you can park there, or if you have a veteran's plate, they won't charge you.
Good to know. Thanks. Kelly actually had an additional comment on the comp question.
I was just going to add a bit more too. As Aaron said, they looked at job descriptions this year, so a deep review was done at the compensation according to the guidelines and the framework that the diocese as well. So that was looked at extensively this year. So just to add that context as well.
Yes, the man in the red sweater.
Jack Meffin.
Oh, hi, Jack.
Hi, Chuck. I'd just like to comment that the 2 handicap parking spaces have seemed to have disappeared. I would really like to see handicap parking back in front of the church.
Yeah, those were, you're talking about that there were 2 over there?
Yes.
And they're not there anymore?
No, they were painted over.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that. We'll look into that. Thanks, Jack.
That was the prior parking company, and we didn't approve of that. They did it on their own to bring in more revenue. When they paint the line for the new company, we will have them repaint those handicap spaces.
Which is what I was going to say. And we'll, yeah, you're retired. Be quiet. And that's one of the reasons why we fired those guys, Jack. They're never coming back. You already asked the question. Okay, go ahead. No, she doesn't need it. Oh, she does need it. I'm sorry. Yep.
Judy.
Would it be a good idea to have the parking spaces next to Thaxter Hall, the immediate ones, also be handicapped for the people who are using the elevator on
Yeah, we do, those handicap parking spaces are still handicapped, and they're painted handicapped as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll make sure we don't lose those. And
All right.
a lot of the paint just wore away. We'll freshen it up. Yeah, there's supposed to be signs. People keep stealing them. Olin brings them home for his kids to play with. I don't know where they go. Hello, you in the back. Jenna has a question.
This afternoon. I'm asking about a crosswalk right in front of the church across the street. I really think that's necessary because people come swooping around that corner. And I really think a sign and a crosswalk would be good for protecting people.
Okay. Jerry, I don't know if we've ever thought about that. Obviously, that's not something that we can do on our own. But Rick, you know, for you, we'd do anything. Yeah. Reg. Wait, hold on, Reg. We want to get this in the record for sure. Reggie's got, well, Ann, you're the one who said they need microphones. No, come on.
I'm Reggie Barrett. To answer to your question, the city approved, as Jerry told me, since 2015 to do the parking as for a ramp in front of the church and to allow for a lane on the opposite side. I know the road's narrow, but it was supposed to have been done 2025. So we're going to follow up to ensure, just as you say, a crosswalk to make it safe to get from that parking spot.
Great.
So that's in the works. It's just they're taking a long time to do it. As far as development of the city streets, they have started downtown, and as you can see, eventually they'll get to our street.
All right, Rick, it's just a matter of time, apparently. Thanks, Reg. Jenna.
Hi, Jenna Kim. I'm really sorry, I'm not going to talk about parking. I just wanted to remind everybody that a year ago at this meeting, we did not have coffee hour. We were going through that dry spell. Does everyone remember that? Well, we didn't have coffee hour. So I just wanted to give a great big shout out to Fran and the team for bringing coffee hour back, keeping with it, sticking with it, and just to say, you know, change happens. So there.
Thank you. Yeah, best choir, best staff, best coffee hour, best online visual and oral experience. Any other questions? Christine is pointing. Peter. Peter, if you're going to have a question, you got to put your little ears on.
My name is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I've noticed that we've rolled over surpluses for 2 years now, and I'm wondering what consideration is given to putting some of those surpluses into the endowment fund.
Well, historically, we've needed those to break even. So that's why.
Did you call on me?
Fran?
I've got the mic.
Oh, Ann, I'm so sorry.
Hi. So I just want to say that this is the first time in I don't know how many years that I can stand up and say thank you to all of you, particularly to the vestry and to you, Chuck, for helping us raise the money to put in an irrigation system for our parking lot and driveway and so forth. You were going to see a beautiful difference this summer with consistent water. And not only that, but I even have a helper who knows more than I do, which is wonderful. And I don't know where, oh, he's in the choir room up there. That would be Brian Wood, Wendy Cody's husband. So the two of us are really grateful. 28 of you contributed enough money for the irrigation system, and we're going to get it going, and it's going to make a big difference. Thank you very much.
You bet. So before you go, Fran, Ann, I always appreciate getting thanked, but if you remember the conversation was, I want to put it in irrigation system. This is you talking and me saying, if you can find the money and pay for it, I'm okay with it. So I'm not sure that deserves a thank you, because you did all the work. So thank you. All right.
If you looked at last year's minutes, I brought up, first of all, I asked a question, be careful asking questions, because that's how I ended up coordinating coffee hour, which I love. I have to say I love it. But you'll also see that I asked about the ability to fund whatever we need to do to make Reynolds Hall an emergency shelter. And in light of this weekend's weather, it comes back up again. We have an incredible, we're very blessed and with having buildings that have heat, bathrooms, kitchen, and when you work at the breakfast, you work at the common table, you do see individuals who need shelter. And there are some people who will not go to a shelter, and some of us don't understand that, but they have their reasons for not being comfortable in that setting. But I do think that whatever we could do to have our building approved as an emergency shelter, I know myself I would be willing to volunteer, because you do often need volunteers to spend time in the building. So anyway, I'd just like the vestry to maybe wrangle with that question a little bit.
Thanks so much, Fran. You know, you're not the only one who's brought this up this year. There's a lot of us here in the congregation who have been talking about this, especially those of us who sit and eat on Monday morning with people who have been out all night long. And there's a lot of people in the broader community who are also talking about this issue. And so I would really encourage you, not that you have to lead this, but maybe together we could put an announcement in and see who else just wants to come to a table and talk about where do we start with something like this. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I just want to add, we have some, beautiful and practical spaces here, and as stewards of those spaces and as members of the community, we should always be searching ourselves to, make sure they're being put to the best use. So, and that does happen. So, thanks, Fran. There's a masked gentleman behind you that we're going to have to go to first.
Sorry about the mask. I want to embarrass Peter here. Peter, can you stand up for a sec? Peter Tarleton, front and center. I want to embarrass Peter because he's celebrating his 10th year with the Polar Pack Ministry. And if you're not familiar with the Polar Pack Ministry, Peter saw a need about 10 years ago for folks that, especially this weekend, that are freezing, they're unhoused or homeless and are living out in the open in winter. So he came up with a plan to be able to provide tents, below freezing sleeping bags, warm ski jackets, gloves, hats, socks, and he's really made a difference. If you take about 15 of those that we do a year times 10, he's provided 150 polar packs over the last 10 years to people that really needed it and appreciate it. And being involved with Breakfast Club and Common Table, I see folks, we pass out to through St. John's, Salvation Army, and Crossroads House. So it's really a great ministry, and I'd really like to give Peter a big round of applause for doing that.
Peter Tarleton. But Peter's not just tall and good looking with a great voice, he actually does stuff. He's a really cool dude. Wendy, did you have another question? And then I think we're going to have to bang on here.
This is just a quick one, and it's sort of a silly one compared to some of the bigger problems and issues that we're looking at and we want to take care of. I've been a member here for 60 some odd years, and I hate name tags, but I miss the name tags. I think as we get more and more new people in, or people memories aren't as good with names anymore, it is a helpful piece. So I don't know if it's something we could think about again.
Would you like to be in charge of the 2026 name tag project?
Sure.
Okay, there you go. Appointed. Thank you. Thanks for answering the call. It's not up there. The answer is not up there. It's right next to you. All right, unless there are other comments like the one Jane Begala had, I think we're going to wrap it up. If anyone wants to turn in their pledge right now and get a standing ovation, there's still time. All right.
I want to make sure that we end right at 10:30 because we also need to be worshiping this morning. But we also need to thank some people who have been here for a long time, who have helped us, who have made us, and cared for our buildings in this way. And so I'd like to begin by inviting Ann Williamson and Reggie and Randy forward, who are just going to say a few brief words about Jerry Simpkins.
Hi, Jerry. I'm Reggie Baird. I would just like to say that I've been working with Jerry since 2013 when I first came to this church. And briefly, because I know everyone is anticipating the snowstorm, I just want to say that Jerry has been a great pal. He has been fun to work with. And just one quick thing about a story he told me, since we talked so much about parking. He had someone try to park for free. And by the way, before we had monitors going through the parking lots. Jerry used to do it all. He would run from the top to the middle to the lower parking lot, trying to catch people not putting money in the meter. And so this one guy is the tax day, right? The last final day, it was April 16th for turning in your taxes. And someone parked illegally. He caught them, and he said, I'm calling the tow truck. So he did. And he knew the tow truck was on its way. A second guy came up, and he's running. He said, I'm not going to pay the meter. I'm just going to run to the post office. I've got to get my taxes in. And Jerry said, don't do it. Don't do it. Knowing that the tow truck was already on the way, the guy said, what are you going to do? He went without paying the meter. The tow truck showed up. He said, take this one first. The guy came back, and he was right in Jerry's face. And I could bet he was towering over Jerry, but Jerry stood firm, didn't move, and guess what? He said, I warned you. So thank you, Jerry, for taking care.
Yeah, neither of those people were parishioners. They were both from Massachusetts. I think that's important to point out.
Thank you, Jerry, for everything you've done since, 2001 to present, working on a shoestring budget. And you did a tremendous job, and I'm glad to call you a friend.
No, just thank you. 20 great years, Jerry. It's a pleasure. I'm kind of like their stunt double. I do all the minor projects so they can do the important big projects, buildings and grounds. So appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Jerry, you're the best. It's been a delight to work with you over the course of the last 13-ish years. And to see how you have managed a plant and community that has changed in my time here pretty radically, but in your time here even more so. And whenever I look up at the solar panels or walk through the connector, I have to say, I think I've used the elevator once. I can still do the stairs, which is kind of nice. But, other people are really benefiting from having that elevator. And you have just led us through in so many ways, in so many projects. So in addition to clapping and standing and all that kind of jazz, we wanted to do something sort of for you. And we thought about buying you a fishing rod, and I know nothing about fishing, but I'm told that people are a little particular about fishing rods. So we decided it was much better if you got to choose your own. So there is a gift card in there for you to choose some super duper fishing rod of your own choice and the bits that go with it. But we also know that you are a person who doesn't like sitting still, doing nothing, and that you have a little affection for Harbor Freight. And so there's a work and play aspect to this gift. Okay. So enjoy, and we are so grateful, and we love you.
Thank you. For those that don't know, I have 5 other brothers, and we get together every year for an annual fishing trip, and we spend a week together, do nothing but fishing and having a few beers.
Just a few beers, a few small beers.
Thank you. We have another major transition that has happened here at St. John's this year that we want to honor, and that is that the leadership of Common Table, which is our incredible feeding ministry, has changed hands. And so I want to invite Dave DeSalvo and Mark Andrew forward to just share a little bit about that transition and to thank Judy Roberts for her amazing ministry, and also Susie Rayside.
So I know we are pressed for time, so I will begin, and Mark can fill in with me. So I'm Dave DeSalva, this is Mark Andrew, and we are co-leaders of Common Table. As many of you know, that it was about 25 years ago that Common Table had one important mission, and that was to welcome all to a nutritious meal served in a joyful environment, feeding body and soul within a caring community. And this was a mission that was envisioned by Lou Roberts and Judy Roberts, and one that quickly attracted Susie Rayside to a food program that became well known as Common Table. And for 25 years, that statement has drawn hundreds of volunteers to St. John's Thaxter Hall, where they have served, loved, laughed, and learned about what community service is all about, and that's people. The shoes that Lou and Judy and Margaret Sofio and Susie and so many others wore at Common Table are too big for any two people to fill. Sadly, Lou is no longer with us, but his memory lives on. Judy has honored Lou by carrying one side of the banner of leadership since his passing. She's done everything, from fundraising to serving meals and running meetings and writing thank you letters, inviting new volunteers, and most of all, reminding all of us to keep our focus on the mission of service. Words cannot fully express how important Judy Roberts is to the Common Table program. Several years ago at a Monday morning breakfast, the kitchen group gathered, several days ago, pardon me, to remember and mourn the loss of Susie Rayside. As we wept and prayed, Glenn Hammond spoke about his first day at a Common Table meeting. He was a volunteer, his first time, and what he said is that I remember that day, Susie Rayside at the kitchen sinks, washing pots and pans, and her example has kept me coming back ever since. That was Glenn. Until her energy finally ran out, Susie came every week for a Monday breakfast. She counted church offerings afterwards and delivered meals to shut-ins on Thursdays. We may see her in our mind's eye in an elegant hat, speaking or reading prayers of the people at church services. But at Common Table, she wore an apron. She was a vital servant. Connie White wiped tears from her eyes when she saw a framed photo of Susie recently placed by Judy Roberts in the kitchen. Connie said that no matter how heated a topic of discussion was at Common Table, at a meeting, Susie was the voice of reason and practicality that brought the group back to its essential reason for being. She kept us focused on the things that really mattered, serving nutritious meals in a joyful environment. My own first memory of Susie was during a brief lull in the bustle of kitchen prep. Susie gathered us together and said, "Let's do a little icebreaker." And that's a very Episcopal thing to do. She had us go around and say something about ourselves that others didn't know. That was quintessential Susie, always looking more deeply into how service to others feeds our own body and soul. Together, Judy Roberts and Susie Rayside were the captains of the good ship Common Table. Thank God for their vision, their leadership, and their love of all of us. May their legacy live on through us and bring us the joy that comes from serving others in the spirit of Jesus, who said, "Whosoever would save their life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose their life for my sake shall save it." Thank you. It's 10:30. Oh boy.
It's not 10:30 yet. That's the get ready for church bell, but we are already in church, so we're all exactly where we need to be. I am wondering if we can just give a huge round of applause for Judy Roberts here today. I also want to thank Mark and Dave for the incredible way that you stepped into this leadership the ways that you're going to bring Come and Table into the future, the ways that you love everybody who serves, everybody who comes. So thank you for your ministry, and thank you for saying yes to taking on this new role. There are so many people to thank and so many ministries here at St. John's. I want to thank the outgoing vestry members. Mike and Ken, thank you for being there. Ken, thank you for saying yes and staying on. Mike, thank you for staying on the HR committee. It's been amazing to get to know you on the vestry and here at St. John's. And I just want to, as a personal note, say that you all are the last of the vestry who voted to bring me here to St. John's. The rest of the vestry I've been here for, so I am really grateful for that. So thank you. I also want to take an opportunity to introduce you to the Reverend Richard Greenleaf. Richard, could you please stand up? And the Reverend Dave DeSalvo, who you have just met. And of course, you all know the Reverend Dick Seener, who are all of our priest associates here at St. John's. There are so many more clergy in these pews that you don't even know about. We are really blessed to have retired clergy here, and I know as clergy, it's really amazing to feel your support and love, especially during this time of Rob's sabbatical. You will see both Richard and Dave on the altar. You'll hear them preach during this time, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew who they were and what they were doing here and how grateful we were to have them here. I also want to just take a chance to point out the annual report if you have not seen it. As Jane mentioned, it is amazing this year. Christine, thank you for all of your work in pulling this together. I cannot express enough how grateful I am to be able to see the work of St. John's in one book and to be able to share this with people and show how proud I am of this community. So thank you for the work on that.
Christine.
With that, let us stay in peace to love and serve the Lord. Amen.
Thanks everyone for coming. We are open for breakfast tomorrow. If you live within walking distance, please come. Otherwise, it'll be me and Dave.